Hello YouTubers, thank you very much for coming to my channel. My name is Bodot and today we will be discussing the second part of this small mini-series of coming to Thailand, and part 2 is going to be about the flight itself. So stick around and we'll go through this one step at a time. So, you've got all your paperwork, your visa, your certificate of entry, your insurance, and a whole other bunch of paperwork, and it's all correct, and you're ready to fly. This is what the requirements are going to be for the airlines. It might differ slightly depending on which airline you're taking, but these is pretty much the basic of what you're going to need to take with you to the airport. As usual, I'll be using my teleprompter because I don't keep all this in my brain, and we'll go step by step so you get the most accurate and up-to-date information as possible. Okay. Valid visa or re-entry permit. That's self-explanatory. The certificate of entry issued by the Royal Embassy or Consulate. A COVID-19 health insurance policy with a minimum coverage of 100,000 US dollars for COVID. We've already discussed this. Confirmation of alternative state quarantine hotel. That's also self-explanatory. We've dealt with this. Also, you will need to have a COVID test 72 hours before you fly. No longer than 72 hours before you fly. And also, some airlines might require you to have a fit to fly certificate. The Thai government, as from the 1st of April, have said you no longer need a fit to fly certificate to enter the country, but some airlines are still demanding it before they allow you to fly. So, what does that mean? Firstly, you will need all this paperwork in hard copy. You can't have any of this digital. The normal check-in time, they advise you to arrive 2 hours beforehand. I would advise longer. It takes roughly around about 20 minutes, 25 minutes per person to go through all the paperwork, make sure the paperwork's correct, make sure your date of birth's correct, your name is correct, your flight details are correct, and there is a whole lot of paperwork to go through at check-in before you even get to your plane. The good news is that most of this paperwork you will need to keep with you, because once you have flown into Thailand, they will require the same paperwork. So keeping it in a separate file or a separate bag for yourself on the plane itself once you have checked in is a good idea, because when you get to the other side there is a lot of controls, an extreme amount of controls, but we shall get through that in due course. So you're at the checkout. You just hand over your big pile of paperwork and let them shuffle through it as they do, and as I say, it takes about 25 minutes and then you will be checked in. When you go through customs, they might ask to see your paperwork as well. With me they didn't, but they were checking other people's paperwork, so it's depending on which guy you have and whatever. But I had all my paperwork ready for me, for them to inspect if they wish to, which they didn't. They just took a look at my passport and saw my boarding pass and waved me through. Now, the flight. Yes, that was very interesting. You have to wear a face mask all the time, regardless of whether you are sleeping or whether you're awake, the only time you can take your face mask off is when you're drinking or when you're eating. The rest of the time you have to keep your face mask on. Also, you're not allowed to wander around the cabin like you used to do and have a chit chat with your neighbour or with your friends if you're going on holiday with somebody. You have to stay in your seat unless you're going to use the toilet. That wasn't really much of a problem for me because the plane was pretty much empty. Between myself and my lady, we had the whole of the middle aisle free to ourselves. That is 48 seats for 2 people. And I asked the steward, can we move around and can we sit where we like? And he said, yep, we've got 30 economy passengers for the whole flight. Yeah, they had some first class and business class people, but the size of the plane, there was only 30 economy passengers on the flight, which allowed me and my lady to have 48 seats just for ourselves, just us, nobody else, which was quite nice because then you could lift up the handrails and you could then lie down, and it was actually more space than what it would have been in first class or business class. So if you're a first class passenger or a business class passenger and you want to save some money, then go economy. You're going to get a lot of space with only a small amount of people going on these flights. I mean, the plane was empty. It was deserted, really. It was. So there was plenty of space, but you are restricted as into what you can do and what you can't do. If you're transferring, pretty much the same thing applies. You've got to go to your next flight, to your connecting flight. You have to follow all the instructions. You have to wear your face mask. You are guided the complete way, and that I found extremely helpful. I didn't have to go look for things. I didn't have to go and find out where my next flight was. I was told where it was, where I had to go to. I was guided there. I was shown there, which was brilliant. It really was personal service, and I enjoyed that quite a lot, because if you're transferring from one flight to another, it's always a little bit hectic. Well, where's the next gate? Where do we have to go to, and what have you? But we was guided, and they took extreme care of us, and that I was very appreciative of. So anyway, when we arrived in Thailand, that was quite scary, because you had all these people in hazardous suits and masks and full face masks and white boots and everything else. It looked like a biochemistry factory or something like that. But what I can say, and what I really appreciated, that everybody that was involved in me going through customs, going through border control, going through the medical controls, making sure that all the paperwork was correct, which was about 6 or 7 different departments all in all, and took the best part of an hour and a half, were extremely gentle, were extremely kind, extremely well organised, and there was a lot of people. I noticed you were pretty much there was one person there to help you. So for every person that arrived, there was one person there that was directly responsible to help you, which I found fantastic. I thought the service was absolutely brilliant, and I think the Thai government deserves a tap on the back for how they've managed to do this, to allow tourists to come back in the country, to protect the tourists, and also to protect their own people. And I thought it was brilliant. Okay, you go through a lot of steps, and it's a lot of hassle. You have to keep on getting your paperwork out, and you have to get stamps for this and stamps for that, and it does take a long time. But everybody was extremely polite, extremely friendly, and yeah, it was extremely well organised. I can't praise these guys high enough, especially considering that you're coming from a foreign country. They don't know what your medical situation is or what, but they were extremely proficient at what they were doing, and I can't praise them enough. I really can't. I was extremely impressed by how you were guided from one Pacific department to another Pacific department, and even when I got through border control and everything was fine and I was finally in Thailand, I was still being guided and saying, okay, where are you going? What's the name of your hotel? Okay, if you'd like to sit there, sir, and wait, then we'll have somebody bring you to your car. And then somebody came for us and helped us get to the car so we could get to the hotel, and everything was done extremely well. There was no frustration. There was no panic. They made sure that I knew exactly what was going on, where I had to go, what I had to do, where I had to wait, what I had to do next, what paperwork they required next. And yeah, it was absolutely fantastic what they done. And when you think about other countries and other places that I've travelled to around the world, to get that sort of commitment and to get that sort of service from these people, I was very, 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 very impressed. But anyway, yes, so I got through customs, and from then I was guided to a waiting area, and they asked me which hotel I was going to, and I said which hotel I was going to, and I had to sit there, and within 10 minutes there was a little minibus that turned up, all nicely with plastic foil all over the place, so it was very well protected. And from there I was then taken to my hotel. As I say, it took about 90 minutes. The waiting time from the plane to get through customs to get onto the minibus, and from then I went directly to the hotel, which will be part 3, the actual quarantine hotel. I've been here now for 10 days. I leave tomorrow, so I shall give you another blog with what happened in the quarantine hotel, what I had to do, what my requirements were, and everything else in my next blog. I'd like to thank you for watching, and as usual, if you like my blog, please subscribe, comment, share, give us a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you in my next blog. Have a nice day.